Welcome to NPTI Florida. My name is Chris Williams, Director of Education. Today in the advanced course, we're looking at corrective exercise in special populations. And one of the special populations we teach here is clearly diabetes. As you can see on the board behind me, here's a 10-day graphic of how something that's so innocent turned into something so catastrophic. Okay, so I want to take you through some of the things that we need to bear in mind when we're training somebody with diabetes. First and foremost, there's various types of diabetes, type 1, type 2, gestational and pre-diabetes. The two that we're going to concentrate on from an exercise standpoint is type 1 and type 2. From a precautionary standpoint, we must bear in mind that their autoimmune systems are somewhat compromised, so their rates of recovery and healing is somewhat subdued. For example, if, as a personal trainer, you did not identify that your client's shoes were either too tight, didn't have enough absorption, and you were running or walking on a treadmill and it resulted in a blister, this could manifest into an infection, and gangrene could set in, or necrosis could set in, cell death, and as a consequence, they may even lose their leg. So we have to be very, very cautious, ensuring that the fundamentals and rudimentaries of corrective footwear, corrective exercise modalities are paramount. Some of the things that we do as personal trainers are exercises such as deadlifts, plyometrics, box jumps. I can assure you that for the right populations, these exercises are wonderful. However, you might want to reconsider, if you're training somebody with diabetes, doing a deadlift and insinuating, or insisting I should say, that the bar is kept close to the body. So if I can get Ryan to demonstrate exactly what I'm saying here. Now, a deadlift is a fantastic exercise. You are retrieving a weight from the ground to the waist. However, what we like to do as part of our teaching requirements is to keep the bar as close to the body as possible. We always say keep it as close to the shin. And sometimes, if you think about it, if it is too close to the shin, it could actually scratch the shin on the way up. And for a person with diabetes, it may even take a longer time to heal, or it could proliferate into something that's a little bit more insidious and a little bit more tragic. Okay, thank you, Ryan. So if you are doing a deadlift, let's do it with dumbbells to the side, or let's make sure we have adequate distance between the shins and the bar. What else we like to do as personal trainers is box jumps. So again, Kristen, here. Now, for the most part, I would not give a client box jumps. Can you come on this side for me? Wonderful. It's the highest intensity modality there is, and it's really not that appropriate, to be perfectly honest. However, when you do a box jump, make sure you have landing that is appropriate, but box jumps, and just hold on a second for me, box jumps are a high intensity modality whereby they have to be fresh, both cognitively fresh, mechanically fresh, metabolically fresh, neurologically fresh. And so if a client was doing a box jump and they had diabetes and they were fatigued, and they scrape their shins, as is often done when you are tired because you just want to achieve the number and you lose technique. Again, think about the consequences of recovery. It could escalate into what we see on the board behind us here. So in essence, and in summary, when you're training somebody with diabetes, ensure that there are certain precautionary measures. Number one, make sure that the modalities are best suited to their health and their fitness performance. There's no need to do extreme modalities just because our industry says, hey, you have to do high intensity plyometrics. It's not warranted, it's not needed. And the consequences of doing it and damaging somebody, in the case of someone with type 2 diabetes, could be really, really bad. So when training someone with diabetes, we also need to factor in, do they have high blood pressure? There is a chance that they will. It goes hand in hand, okay? Often high blood pressure leads to cerebral vascular accidents, which we call strokes, but also someone with diabetes is likely to have high blood pressure. Now, within the context of exercise, there are contraindicated exercises for someone with high blood pressure. In this case here, Ryan's going to demonstrate a shoulder press. This would be contraindicated. Any pressing overhead, like so, whether you're standing or in a seated position, would be considered contraindicated, meaning don't do it. The risks are greater than the benefits. It increases the hydrostatic pressure gradient and it could ultimately lead to a stroke. In addition to that, if we can get Kirsten doing a bridge for us, please. A very simple exercise that is often taught by personal trainers is where you lie down in the supine position and you raise and you hold this position here. You can see in this position here that the head is lower than the heart. Again, that gravitational pull will increase the hydrostatic pressure gradient and thus increase the probability of somebody having a stroke or some type of busted capillaries in the head, eyes, also the brain. The third one I want to consider also is a plank, because it's often done. And a plank is what we call an isometric exercise. So we're going to go down the elbows and do it. There we go, a conventional plank as you can see here. But it's an isometric exercise, which means that the longer the plank goes on, there's a greater probability you're going to hold your breath. You're expiring against the closed glottis, which is ultimately called the Valsalva maneuver. Now the Valsalva maneuver, and you holding your breath essentially, will also increase your hydrostatic pressure gradient. And again, isometric exercise, whether you're doing a wall sit or you're doing a plank, would be deemed to be contraindicated for somebody with high blood pressure. And this high blood pressure we're associating with the condition of having diabetes. And that is your personal training tip of the week from the Advanced Personal Training course, NPTI, Florida.
Thanks for following NPTI Florida, Orlando, Tampa locations. I'm Pat Sherman. We appreciate you guys following us on Instagram, Facebook. Also subscribe to us on YouTube. We're going to do a great job this year and giving you guys as much information about the personal training, health, and wellness industries as possible. We have 2 programs, 600 hours, ACCSC Accredited, personal training, as well as advanced health coaching and youth fitness and nutrition. Once again, thanks for following us. We look forward to helping you out this year.